Is Amumu the easiest jungler in League of Legends? Well, I'm gonna play him 100 times in a row to find out. According to various Reddit forums, high elo jungle coaches, and U.GG, this boring pile of bandages is broken for beginners in low elo, which I really need some help getting out of as a new jungle main. So I'm dedicating my next 100 ranked games to mastering Amumu, to see just how simple this sad mummy is, and how quickly he can skyrocket me to platinum. But before I can even think about mastering this little guy, I gotta learn the basics first, because I went into game 1 with no idea what I was doing. Going in completely blind, haven't looked up anything on him, haven't done any research. This is just first game on Amumu, because we're gonna see just how brain dead this guy is to play. Here we go. I wanted to do this to test out just how easy the Bandage Boy was, so I queued up with no prior knowledge of the champion, just following his recommended runes and build. But quickly regretted my decision during the first 15 minutes of this game. Not gonna lie, things were looking pretty doomed. Everyone was losing lane, and the fed enemy LeBlanc made me look like I was trolling. That's fine. But right when I thought all hope was lost, I accidentally stumbled upon the power of Amumu's terribly complicated in-game combo when I picked off the enemy's Xin Zhao. Step 1, land a Q. Step 2, press R, and then Q again to stun lock the target of your choice. It was this kill that taught me the power of Amumu's crazy crowd control, and I used that knowledge to turn this game around with my team. By focusing my CC chain on important targets, I could not only stop fed enemies from dealing tons of damage, I could also give my team a juicy target to focus on. All of a sudden, I was making a huge impact on the game, securing objectives, and I even got my revenge on LeBlanc. Okay, wait, maybe this champion is just the fucking easiest thing ever? What the fuck? As I was taking down the enemy Nexus after a crazy Game 1 comeback, I was full of hope. Amumu, yeah, he may be easy, he may be boring, but he might be just exactly what this hard-stuck player needs to get out of gold. Okay, first impressions? Feels pretty good. I kind of like him. He's straightforward, he's simple, smooth brain, like exactly what I like for a champion. This could be a jungle awakening for me. My good fortunes continued on in game 2, as I learned a very interesting quirk about Amumu. His bandage toss is a little bit too easy to hit. I don't know if this 2009 Riot Spaghetti code was left in to help hardstucks like me hit skill shots, but it sure didn't make this Anivia very happy on my first gank of the game. Yo, this champ, man. Anivia's not happy, man. The hitbox on Bandage Toss is much larger than its animation makes it out to be, causing this ability to be deceptively easy to hit and lead to some very weird looking interactions, like this one with Cassante. That should not... That hit? That hit? That was a bit sus. Yeah, what was that? I have no idea what that Q was, man. I guess it can't help tilt people, though, because after this interaction, the enemy team kind of crumbled, securing me my second win in my second game. Easy. Easy money. Okay, one win off of gold 1. Let's go. Very similarly to game 1, game 3 got off to a rocky start. I got my jungle stolen by Rammus during my first clear, and when I tried to counter jungle back, I was immediately spotted, wasted my flash, and donated my kill to the enemy Teemo. I then found a way to miss my Q on a stationary Katarina, and was 0-3 by the 12-minute mark. But just like in game 1, I didn't give up. I knew we had the better team comp, and just needed to find the right moment to strike. Once again, we had momentum back on our side. Oh! We then picked off the jungler in the next fight as I peeled for our 80 carry, got the Baron, and A-rammed it down mid for the W. What? This is so dumb! This champ is so dumb! I was already feeling pretty confident on League's easiest jungler, as I climbed up to gold 1 after only 3 games in this challenge. And that confidence only continued to grow in game 4, as my bot lane got insanely fed thanks to a griefing Jinx. I just had to sit back and coast my way to some more free LP. I don't even think I did a lot this game. I just got lucky and got carried, to be honest. Like, I played fine, but I didn't, like, you know, I didn't do anything that crazy. However, even though I got off to my best start in game 5, things took a turn for the worst. My bot laners started yapping at each other for no apparent in-game reason, and wouldn't stop for 40 fucking minutes. I tried to help them out by getting the MF 2 free kills bot lane, but that somehow seemed to worsen the situation. Amumu to the rescue. Amumu to the rescue, guys. Don't worry about it. Trash. If they just nutted up and shut it up, this game would have been over 20 minutes earlier. I'd gotten us a Baron and Infernal Soul. But, of course, instead of trying to win the game, these two toddlers decided to choose violence. Surely now we can win this game, right, guys? We have everything that we could possibly want. As long as we legit don't end the game, we win. Oh, good. Oh my god. Please, guys. We can win so easily. Why? As the game dragged on, the enemy team had complete control of the map because it was basically a 3v5 out there and ended up taking all 3 of our inhibitors. Mind you, this is while we had a massive kill lead, Soul, and Elder Dragon. By that point, the minions, the mayhem, and griefing caused by all their chatting was just too much, and I was handed my first loss after playing my personal best game. Even the enemy team couldn't believe that they'd won. We actually lost. I cannot believe that. This trend continued in Game 6, as my top lane Kennen decided halfway through the game that we'd lost, and started running it down the side lane for fun, even though we had a late game fed Jinx. It was these games that I started to discover one of Amumu's greatest weaknesses. It's harder to carry on your own and put the whole team on your back. Yes, you have great CC, awesome engages, and decent damage, but it really felt like you needed to have somewhat of a coordinated team to help back you up when you went in. I didn't feel like you could completely face roll a game like you can on a champion like Kindred or Hecarim, for example. Yeah. Oh well. Okay, so 2 trolls in a row. This happens. This is League of Legends. We continue. We move on, and we keep going. I got out jungled hard by Nidalee in Game 7. She was always 2 steps ahead of me in the early game ganks, and I let her smite steal objectives right in front of my face. Thankfully though, Nidalee and the entire enemy team was so focused on stealing objectives from me that they gave up their own base to do it, securing us another win. Camille's just gonna win the game. Like, just gonna let her just fucking win. There we go. Boom! Game 7, baby. Game 8 was one of the worst performances on Amumu I'd had so far. I felt pretty much useless the entire match against a Trundle who I had no chance of 1v1ing. I later found out he's one of Amumu's biggest counters, which made a lot of sense after that match. What was funny about this game is, whenever I tried to do something productive, I somehow made the easiest League of Legends jungler look impossibly hard. Yeah! Ouchie, ouchie. Not my best work. And I thought my games were only going to get harder when my support locked in Mordekaiser on Game 9. Except I was pleasantly mistaken because he ended up being one of the better players on our team during some early bot lane ganks. He came out massive in Dragon fights too, always locking down their fed Gwen before the enemy team could react. This led to me being able to get every objective, like Soul and Baron, super safely. Okay, so we went with the support Mordekaiser. Didn't have that on my bingo card today. Promoted to Gold 1. Okay, hopefully it stays that way.
You're a jinx! Do you hear me?
But that recovery was very short-lived, as I got bodied in Game 10, as we fed a bunch of kills to an early game Kassadin. It's not very hard to imagine what happened next in this one.
Defeat.
6 and 4 in the first 10. I can't complain. Back half, a little rough. Front half, very good. I don't know what that means.
It is evolving, just backwards.
After Game 10, I felt pretty confident in how well my first few games had gone in this challenge, but was also ready to level it up a notch. It was time for me to dive deeper into League's easiest jungler. For starters, I looked at Amumu's rune and build options. So far, like I mentioned before, I'd been following his recommended setup of Conqueror for a primary keystone, and a core build of Liandry's, Sunfire, and Abyssal Mask. However, I discovered a much more, let's say, nuclear option that I had to try. Full AP Amumu. And that's what I did for Game 11. My build for full Atomic Amumu was Malignance, followed by Shadow Flame, Storm Surge, and then Deathcap. A much more explosive way to approach League's easiest jungler. And because of that, I kind of struggled out of the gate while I was figuring out how squishy I was. I did my best to make up for it by threading the needle on this Q though. Thankfully, my team had my back on this one and took the enemy Nexus while we defended their siege top lane. I don't even want to know what their York jungle was thinking during all of this while we were taking his base, but gotta love gold macro, I guess. Okay, we win, I guess? Why? For game 12, I decided to be a total cyberbully and camp top lane for the entire early game, blowing my bandages onto the enemy gangplank. Yes! Very nice. Oh my god! Report top. Does this qualify as cyberbullying? I actually don't know. I have to give props to this guy though, because even after all that camping, he stuck with it and found a way to come back into this game. Partially thanks to my exceptional Amumu mechanics. Mwah, just chef's kiss on this one. He of course got his revenge at the very end of the game by one-shotting the one-shotter in his own base. Some poetic justice for Mr. Gangplank here. Even though my mechanics were somehow sus on the easiest jungler in the game, there were glimpses among this mess of how powerful AP Mumu could be, and I knew I had to keep trying. And in game 13, things finally started to click. I instead played this mummy more like an assassin, going for the backline as they stood literally right next to each other for me. That's it, baby. I couldn't believe I was carrying my team to victory on full AP Amumu. He killed their entire backline. Nice. The only thing standing in my way was a very fed Vladimir, and we had an epic 3-round fight to see who would take this game.
Round 1, fight.
And we just have to kill a lad. Okay, wait. The perfect timing? Okay, nice.
Round 2, fight.
Okay, he should be dead, right? You're kidding me. I can't believe he lived that.
Round 3, fight.
Even though I lost this fight to Vladimir and the game ended up being a loss, I now knew the power I had in the palms of my sweaty gamer hands with Atomic Amumu. But then, both game 14 and game 15 were kind of a disaster. Ugh.
Look at Randy Orton slithering.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Okay, we're done. We gave it a good try. We tried it. It's not working. It's not working. I'm just getting like... There was one moment where I thought I could maybe turn my full AP and Mumu fortunes around. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute here! Wow. Okay, wait, maybe it's not over. Only for me to die 6 times in a row, get called a troll by my team, and then take my 4th L. A pretty clear sign that it was time to retire my Atomic Mumu dreams. I think it's safe to say Game 13 was more of an exception than the norm with my full AP Mumu gameplay. It was pretty clear to me at this point that full AP Mumu was not going to be the easiest path to plat. I went back to the drawing board for my items and looked at what top mummy mains in the world were building. I started my search on the Korean OP.GG ladder and immediately noticed something interesting. This is the #1 Amumu player in Korea, 56% win rate, and one of his core items is Zeke's Convergence. I then checked out EU West right after. Now this is, I think, the 2nd place guy on EU West, and whenever he plays Amumu, he goes Unending Despair 2nd. So some new items to try. Definitely some new items to try. Now, with a bunch of new items to test out, I headed back into Ranked. Only for my next 3 games to be completely and totally unproductive in the item testing front. Game 16, I got invaded multiple times by the enemy Kindred, which turned the game into a complete and utter bloodbath for 40 minutes. There was just constant back and forth fighting, and because of that, I forgot to focus on testing out my new items. In Game 17, the enemy team surrendered so fast that I wasn't able to test out any new items. I'd literally just bought Zeke's Convergence 30 seconds earlier, and then they FF'd. Game 18, our entire team got dumpstered on, except for Poppy, and I just wasn't locked in for this one. I did steal a Baron though, so that was kinda cool, I guess. Wait! Holy shit! Let's go! And then in Game 19, This this game was almost like a low elo piece of art. It exemplified everything that makes low elo League of Legends so unbelievably chaotic and stupidly fun. To be honest, I don't even know how to describe everything that happened here, so I'm just gonna let my editor go to town. Bro, why? This has happened every game.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!
Oh my god. Oh my god! You're kidding. People are starting to tilt me today because I keep getting I'm getting question mark pinged all day. How? What? What the fuck is going on, man? These guys, man. Why am I getting fucking flamed this game? Can someone explain to me? Fuck me. Maybe I do deserve to get flamed. I don't know. Maybe I am the worst. This game is such a clusterfuck. We got a KL ulti. Alright, now we all lose. Okay, it's gone.
Not on my watch.
Wow. Crazy. Nice job. Like, this game... This... what do I say? I think we gotta defend the base here, guys. Guys? Oh, he's dead, right? Oh my god. Like, what? Like, what did we just do? We just lost. I don't even know what just happened.
This is the most obnoxious thing I've ever experienced in my life.
After that chaotic mess of games, I knew I had to lock in and really get these items tested. So that's what I did over games 20 to 23, and here are my findings. Amumu's core build of Leandri's, Sunfire, and the Abyssal Mask is super strong and a great baseline, but I also found some other items that are awesome in certain situations. For example, Zeke's Convergence from our Master Tier Korean player. This felt great as a cheap second item rush if you were ahead, wanting to snowball and needed dual resistances, but was pretty lackluster if bought later in the game or if you needed more of a specific resistance. Some other standout items for me on Amumu apart from his core were Kanek Rukern, Randuin's Omen, Thornmail, and Jackshow for that late game resistance power spike. If I really needed more AP, I could also build Bloodletter's Curse or Riftmaker. However, one item I found to be underwhelming was Unending Despair. I didn't feel like the heal had that much of an impact to make it worthwhile over Zeke's, which had very similar stats for 600 gold less. Now, as always, this is just my opinion on Amumu's items, which should be taken with a grain of salt, because I am a low elo scrub. But I just wanted to share with you what items felt good for me and what I'll be building moving forward. Unfortunately, the cost of figuring this out for the challenge was very high. After game 10, I was sitting at 6 wins and 4 losses. After game 23, I was at 9 wins and 14 losses, or a 39% win percentage. But now that I knew what items I liked and when to build them, it was time to put all of this newfound knowledge to the test in my next 2 games. So in games 24 and 25, instead of testing out random items, I built what I felt was best given the situation, and saw some amazing results. After getting ahead early and evaluating the enemy team, I knew game 24 was perfect for Zeke's Convergence. I used the early 2-item power spike to dominate with my damage, CC, and tankiness. By the end of the game, because I was so far ahead and my build countered their champions, I was honestly unkillable. In game 25 though, I needed to index much more heavily into armor, so I went for a more traditional Sunfire Aegis build. This allowed me to both be the tanky frontline for my team, as well as peel for our Fed Samira in fights, keeping Kazakhs locked down for as long as possible. Once again, by the end of this one, I was also unkillable. Now, after officially finishing 1/4 of this challenge, I had 11 wins, 14 losses, and was sitting at the bottom of Gold 2. Yes, I was happy I figured out my build path and saw some awesome results, but I knew I had to keep pushing. So next, I decided to work on something I obviously struggle with, my mummy mechanics. As I'm sure many of you know, Amumu is about as basic as they come in terms of champion design, but he does have one sneaky move you can pull off with his flash. Basically, while you are in your ability animations, you can flash to reposition, allowing you to hit some unsuspecting targets. I spent a whole 5 minutes in the practice tool figuring out how to do this with his R, Q, and E. It was comically easy. I actually had the most fun landing Q-flash fadeaways for some extra style points, I guess. After that, I practiced something I called the Amumu Spider-Man combo, which is landing your Q on one target and then immediately R-flashing behind them to stun both the target you hit with your Q, as well as anyone behind them. It's a really clean way to land a massive teamfight engage from screens away. I knew that if I wanted to be a mummy master, I had to nail all of these combos in an actual game. So I made a list of every flash combo I needed to hit and got back to grinding. I hit the ground running in game 26 and got off a pretty successful R flash. And then, well, just a flash. Oh, I didn't have my fucking R yet. This game was a rough uphill battle though. My two carries were completely outmatched and I had to look for a pick to try and turn the tide of the game. Thankfully, after getting Warwick, we were able to win a fight around Baron. I think I got a little too excited about these R flashes though, and landed a really nice one in the next fight, with my team nowhere to be seen. We then got completely wiped, lost Baron, and then lost the game. So I was able to pull off an R flash, but not at the right time. In game 27, I went for a fadeaway Q and kinda hit it, but I knew I could do better. I didn't care in this game though, because I went off and carried my team for a glorious win. You ult on all of them? Okay, wait a minute. Oh, the blind. Quadra kill. Okay, let's fucking go, baby. Holy fuck. Game 28 was kind of a mess, so we're gonna skip most of it. All you gotta know is our Olaf got angry because I didn't gank him, even though he was against a Singed who was never in his lane. So Olaf decided it was best to just take my camps and to completely starve me a farm the entire time. So yeah, a loss. Oh no! We bounced right back in game 29 though, where I actually hit the flash trifecta. I started out with an early game E flash to secure a kill on Kai'Sa, then I hit a fadeaway Q flash to style on, Kai'Sa again, and lastly a nice R flash in a team fight so my team could once again kill Kai'Sa. Another dominant win for me and the Mummy Man. Now the only thing left on the list was the Spider-Man combo, and unfortunately this one was by far the hardest and took me many games and attempts to get right. It looks pretty easy to hit in practice tool, but the moments where it's applicable are pretty limited, and you really need to gain an eye for seeing this play in action. For someone like me who has a hard time hitting anything in this goddamn game, I think you can see why this particular combo wasn't the easiest thing for me. I spent 9 games trying to perfect this move, and I'm going to spare both you guys and my own dignity by not going through these games to just watch me miss a stupid amount of skill shots. I did kind of hit it in game 35, but I wasn't that satisfied with it, so I kept looking. And finally, in game 38, I found the angle. There it is! The play! I did it! That was it! That was the Spider-Man. And once I landed one, it became much easier to land even more, like this one in game 39. No joke, this is what literally all my games looked like. And some actual clean ones in game 40. Now, after 11 games of cosplaying as a superhero, I felt much more confident mechanically with all these tricks at my bandages. And to be honest, rightfully so. Over these 11 games, even though I was kind of fucking around with my 2 most important cooldowns, I still played really well. I went 7-4 and climbed back up to Gold 1. Which gave me an idea. I felt like now, after 40 games on this champion, I had the fundamentals locked in. His kit, combos, build path, all burned into my brain. So now, I wanted to see how far would this knowledge take me? Did I have enough training on the Mummy Man to not only Spider-Man my way around the Rift, but also up another rank? Well, I decided that till game 50, I'd test my Mummy mechanics to see if I had what it takes. And it got off to a very positive start in game 41, as the enemy top laner decided to give Grey Kane a try. I'm sure you can imagine what happened here. I can't believe I'm missing these Qs though. No! I missed my... Fuck! I made one nice little flash art play to save my mid laner and secure a kill, but we're just gonna forget that I only had to do that because I missed my Q on a stationary target, but it's fine, it's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
By the end of the game, Great Kane was sitting at a marvelous 2-13, and my team and I were so far ahead that I was confident we'd win any fight we took. Yeah, like we can take that fight. Nice. Easy. I followed it up with game 42, one of my better games in the entire challenge. My early game was on point, with counter ganks, double Q, regular ganks, whee! Let's tank those, and Spider-Man combos. There we go. After that early game, the dominance just kept on coming, gank after gank, with a little bit of luck thrown in every now and then. She is fucking fuming right now. I made sure to mess up at least one golden opportunity, though. Oh, fuck me. By the end of that game, I was 4-0-12, inside their base and ready to style on them one last time. Oh! That was a Spider-Man, baby! Yo, I locked in for this game. Crazy game. Holy shit. Only 2 wins away now. At least it was 2 until Amumu got banned on me in the next 2 lobbies, and I had to dodge losing the LP I needed. Game 43 did not get off to a great start. I was pretty convinced I was going to lose to a support Silas on this one, and my hot streak would come to an end. But then 2 of their players randomly went AFK, and we won 3v5, which means now I'm officially 1 win away from hitting Platinum 43 games into this challenge. So I queued up again, locked in the Mummy Man, and choked the game. I somehow missed every single one of my Qs in the early game, even on camps, and it really messed me up in those initial skirmishes. Missed another one. I'll miss this one. Oh. After going 0-4 in the first 10 minutes, I knew I needed to smarten up or this one would be over. So I played my absolute best for the next few minutes and tried to claw my team back into the game, but it wasn't enough. I lost the match and my first attempt at hitting Platinum as a jungler. I didn't let it faze me though, and I got right back on the horse for game 45, putting on an excellent showing.
Oh, look at the class, look at the moves! Thank you! What was that?
I went 14-2-12 and gave myself a second chance at Platinum. Now that I'd gotten my first time nerves out of the way, it was time to climb. At least I thought it was until my entire team inted their way to a 2-20 scoreline at 15 minutes. We FF'd immediately thanks to my Darius giving an Aurelia 9 kills. So I tried again, and just like last time, I had another solid performance in game 47 to get me back into Platinum 4 territory. I pulled off some nice early ganks to get my laners ahead, and then they made sure to back me up, keeping my undead ass alive in the game-winning team fight. Yup. Yup! Let's go! Wow! So for game 48, like fucking clockwork, I was back at it again. 1 win away from my goal rank of Platinum. Would the 3rd time be the charm? Nope, I lost again, and didn't have a very good game. There was a clear pattern emerging here. I'd have a great match leading up to my Plat promo game, and then completely flub it at the final hurdle. What was happening here? Was it mental? Was it mechanical? What was I missing as a player to promote into Platinum? At this point, I was all in my own head, overthinking every play, losing confidence in my abilities. I didn't know what to do or how to get better. I went from feeling like a mummy master to a mummy mistake and had the worst losing streak of this whole challenge. So that was like easily the worst game I've played in the whole thing.
Defeat.
Oh man, yeah, get me out of this game. That's crazy. Wild. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? That was so dumb. That was so dumb. Got it. Let's fucking go, baby. Yo. Gonna lose to a fucking TP play. Can he stop it? Nope. There's no way that he lived there. Yeah, it's game over. What could I have done differently? Oh, I'm pissed. If this bitch locks in Elise top, I swear. Don't. Oh my. I can't believe these games. This game should never, ever be a loss. We're up 12 kills to 5. We have a scaling Kale. How the fuck are we losing this game? Guys, what is happening? How am I losing every game? This is crazy. I've gone 1 in 10 in my last 11 games. I'm starting to get real mad.
I'm starting to lose my mind. Over the course of 3 days, I have 1 win. If I lose again, I may pull out my hair.
That's it. We lose again. Yeah, it's over. Oh, man. Oh, my God. I don't know, guys. I'm trying my absolute best. My team's just yapping at each other in chat all the time. I'm so fucking sad. I'm so demoralized. From game 49 to 65, I won a whopping 3 games. My OP.GG was red as fuck, and I lost all the confidence I'd built up over the first half of this challenge. In a matter of days, I went from being 1 win away from Platinum multiple times to demoting all the way back down to Gold 4. Something needed to change right now if I wanted to reach my goal of getting out of Gold, because all of a sudden, I was running out of chances. I only had 35 more games to go, and was at the lowest rank I'd been on Amumu. So before hopping into my next round of games, I did some homework. For some study material, I of course went back to my GOAT, Perry Jungle, to see what he had to say about Amumu. And after watching his video on the Mummy Man, there were 2 things he was clearly prioritizing that I wasn't. So just watch this Amumu video, and he makes some very good points, things I am not doing. He's very clear around playing around his ultimate. Like, when you have ulti, that's when you look to make the big plays. When you don't have ulti, you just need to farm and get your items. And second thing is he's like, only play around your winning lane. Like, play to support your winning lane. Don't worry about your losing lanes. Just play to get your winning lane even further ahead. I'm going to try implementing these 2 things into my gameplay now, and we're just going to see how it goes. So I went into my next round of games with these 2 goals in mind, and decided to start out by focusing on playing around my ultimate. But on my first attempt in game 66, I did not do a very good job of this, and got into messy fights before I even hit level 6. These heart-stuck habits were burnt into my brain, so I now needed to lock in if I wanted to have any chance of breaking them. So I focused up and played the rest of the early and mid game solely around my ultimate timer, and it made a massive difference. I was more aggressive when my ulti was up, securing objectives and getting kills. And when my ulti was down, I chilled out and farmed up my camps. Then, after a bunch of back and forth, we closed things out in a clutch late game team fight. Oh! Big combo. Oh, he didn't. Okay, he died. Nice. Okay, come on, team. Yes. Okay, broke the losing streak. Oh my god. However, it was far from smooth sailing after game 66. Like I said, these heart-stuck habits, they weren't leaving my head easily. My thought process at this point was very 100 or 0. If I have my ulti, I gotta go make a big play somewhere. So in game 67, I got far too aggressive when I had my ultimate, leading to moments where I straight up griefed my bot lane at the start of the game. And then griefed my entire team at the end of the game by running headfirst into a fight because I had my ultimate, but I had no idea where the rest of my team was. I knew that this would all be a part of the process though. Growing pains are normal. It was about taking what I learned and bouncing back. Like, for example, in Game 68. Instead of griefing my bot lane early, I played around my ultimate more respectfully and got them some early game kills. After those early ganks, that Twitch and Milio had a massive impact on our game, saving my ass when I took a terrible 1v2, and later blowing up the enemy team inside their own base, getting us the W. I could see now that when I followed this simple rule of playing around your ultimate cooldown, but not going too crazy with it, it led to some amazing results. I then went 1-2 in games 69 to 71. I made some pretty bad ulti plays, and some good ones. But overall, even though I was still losing, I felt like I was becoming a better and better mummy main. And then in game 72, the winning really started to take off. What the? What the fuck happened there? Oh, the surrender. Okay, nice. Good shit. Another win. Okay, we're playing better. Okay, can their old backline? Yep. Yup. Cinema game. Oh. Oh! Sun window? What a fucking ultimate. But that's it. Another clean fucking game. Proud of Baron. I'm hitting this fucking Nexus. Yes. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Now that I understood the importance of playing around this game-breaking ability, I always had it in my back pocket going into those game-defining fights. And man, did it make a difference. I won 5 games in a row after utilizing my ultimate timer to its maximum potential, and made some moves up the rank ladder as I was now back up in Gold 2. After that solid win streak and understanding how to play around my ulti better, I was ready to move on to my next task, working with your strong teammates. So in game 77, that's what I did. I identified quite early on in this game that my solo laners, Zed and Set, were the people I needed to play around if I wanted to win. So I made some nice plays with them early on, and we built up a bit of a lead. However, there was a problem. A problem that became a bit of a theme when I followed this strategy in my low elo games. The lane that's hard losing and getting little to no jungle support just starts to grief and troll. And in this game, that was my Nico support. This was one of those players who would prefer to go on their little own adventure in the side lane rather than be there for any team fights, which was super fucking fun. Especially when it's a Nico whose ultimate can be literally game breaking in a team fight. I tried not to let it affect my mental state and got right back on the bad habit grind in game 78. Both my mid laner and bot laners were playing well in this one, so I kept my focus more on the bot side of the map, steering clear of my top lane Jhin. However, when it was time to play for a top set objective, I made sure to delay it a little bit, slowing things down and waiting to finish the objective until my bot and mid laners were in range and ready to fight. And once they were, I made sure to land the smite and turn on the fucking jets. This showed me the power of playing on your strong teammates, and how much an ounce of planning and patience can do for the outcome of a game. There's no coming back after that play. Holy fuck. Unfortunately though, there wasn't much planning I could do in games 79 and 80 because I was held hostage by griefers yet again. I was gifted a 1 in 10 auction in game 79 and a 1 in 11 set in game 80. They both decided to completely crash out after getting solo killed early and took every single fight possible to try and mend their fragile egos. It didn't work. Like I said, griefing was a weirdly common occurrence for me in this match of games. I really don't know if I just got unlucky, or if this playstyle brought it out in people more. When I didn't have a griefer in game 81 though, I popped off again, and made sure to play around my insanely fed Xayah, keeping her alive for as long as possible in these important team fights. I mean, she's doing so much damage. I just gotta stop Vladimir. Yep, there we go. Nice. Yes! After game 81, despite all the griefers and challenges I've had working through this bad habit, my confidence was at an all-time high. I thought I'd finally cracked the code on Amumu and filled in these 2 blind spots I had in my mummy gameplay. Now I had the fundamentals, the build, the mechanics, the game plan, everything I needed to get the hell out of gold. I thought I was going to put together a sick montage over these few games, showing me finally climb up to platinum, the thing that I feel like I've been edging you for this entire video. But unfortunately, games 82 to 90 didn't go as planned again. I had some great moments, like in game 84, where Kayla and I basically 2v5 to get the win. Other than that though, there wasn't much to show for these games. I went 5-4 and only saw a slight bump in my total LP. This was pretty disheartening for me because I thought I finally had all the pieces I needed to get to platinum after all this grinding. Usually my early games went quite well too, and I'd find myself pretty far ahead, but I'd always make some sort of mistake, throw that lead away, and be unable to carry the game. I tried my absolute best to play around my winning teammates as well, but with these results, it became clear to me that something was still missing from my Amumu gameplay, and I was running out of games to figure out what it was. I knew that if I wanted to climb, I needed to be even more of a game changer in these last 10 chances at glory, and put my fate, my platinum destiny, into my very own bandaged hands. And so, that's when I decided to bring in the big guns. That's right, after hyping him up in my last video, I figured I needed my guy Perry Jungle now more than ever. I know I said I wasn't sure if coaching was worth it after my last video, but at this point in the challenge, I was feeling the pressure and wanted to see what the jungle goat himself had to say about my situation. And oh my god, was this coaching ever packed with information.
Your Echo is currently dead, your Lulu is currently dying and
Yeah.
is now dead.
Yeah.
And then your Lucian is literally dying / is dead as well. And then your instinct is, okay, I'm gonna Q it. To make matters worse, you don't even have your ultimate.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I'm
Save
grieving
Lulu?
here.
Okay, save Lulu,
Yeah.
get yourself killed and get Lulu killed too. We all die. One thing you can do here is like, you pinged on the way. You're not even here, my guy.
Yeah.
Danger ping these guys. This is like 3 danger pings to me. Because I'm just not here.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Okay, it looks like you're just like, oh, Lulu and Lucian are walking up. They have an idea of what they want to do. Cool. I don't care. Let's think about actual true conditions from your perspective. I don't care about the perspective. I don't care about what they think, what they care, because you're never going to see Cho Miyun in your games ever again, or Water Drinker 69. You care about your gameplay, how you're using pings, how you're communicating, and this is bad communication. Okay, so you are banned. Banned. This should be a rule for you.
Uh-oh.
You are banned from fighting without a carry on your screen. For some reason, you've fought twice now with your fucking Lulu. I don't care about this guy. So you're fighting with your Nasus, but this is a 3v4. Your Lucian is mid lane, your Echo is top lane. Let's look at the map.
Yeah, totally. Now, this video is already getting too long for me to go into depths on this session, but just know that there was over an hour of really great information in here, and it made me realize how shitty my previous coach was from the last video. Guys, I got fucking scammed in my other coachings. For anyone who watched my $500 coach video, I got more in that 1 hour than I got in 6 weeks of coaching. Out of everything we covered, there were 3 main takeaways Perry really wanted me to work on at the end of this challenge. Number 1, in the early game, stop investing resources in lanes that are even or behind. Instead, spend your time and valuable cooldowns around fed players to help them snowball. Number 2, communicate with your teammates effectively by using pings. Be the captain of the ship and don't be afraid to spam ping your decisions either. Number 3, when fighting, play around a fed carry. Stop playing by yourself or with a weak laner. Amumu thrives when you strike at the right moment, playing with strong teammates. These 3 tips may seem obvious, and to be honest, they kinda are, but they were things I clearly wasn't actively thinking about or taking action around in game, and that needed to change if I wanted to get the hell out of gold. So, with 10 games left between me and Destiny, I went to work in game 91. After a strong early game by my bot lane, I made sure to invest my resources down there, especially when the enemy team tried to make a play to get back into the game. I also used my pings effectively to get my team coordinated around objectives, securing Otacon, Soul, and Baron with the boys. After that, my team did the honors of taking the Nexus while I dealt with the pest York in the top lane. 1 win down. Unfortunately, game 92 was not as smooth early on. My bot lane lost early, meaning I couldn't invest resources down there right away, so I went looking around for other plays and helped my Singed secure a kill top lane. So that's where I focused most of my time, getting this Singed as big as possible so he could literally run all over this game. However, at the 14-minute mark, I fell back into my smooth brain habits down in the bot lane and turned what I thought was a free kill into a mega grief. Unfortunately, that griefing continued too. I went for a fight to try and save my Lux support when my carries were nowhere near close enough to join. I thought this was going to be the end of the game for sure, but then somehow the enemy team completely griefed as well while doing Baron, handing us a every objective. I guess it was worth ganking that singed early after all. Then we secured solo and contested and blew them up inside their own base. Now, obviously I was very happy to get the win here, but I took it with a grain of salt, because if my team didn't bail me out after those terrible griefs, this game was a guaranteed loss. I still had lots to work on. And that showed itself in game 93, where I followed my Shaco support to a very stupid fight in the enemy Nocturne's jungle. I once again didn't communicate what I wanted to do, and I didn't fight with a strong carry. As the game went on though, I made sure to clean up my act and ignore the troll Shaco support as my team slowly climbed their way out of this deficit. That wasn't until I made a super troll decision myself, engaging a fight without either of my carries again. Where are you guys going? Guess I'm dumb. And then in the next fight, leaving my carries to die as I tried to chase someone down. I got MF with me here. My bad. You can see why Perry brought these things forward in our session together. They may seem basic, but they were things I easily forgot about in game, and it led to lots of losses just like this one. So I made sure to really focus on that in the next few games. Even though my team was hard losing early in game 94, I made a conscious effort to play around my Fed Kled and scaling Kale in each fight, saving my resources for those key momentum shifting moments. The game was back in my team's control, and I was knocking on the Nexus. Once again, thanks to this coaching, I could actually see myself improving and recognizing these mistakes, because in game 95, a very similar thing happened. My team was once again hard losing in the beginning, being down 5-0 in the first 5 minutes, but I stayed calm and made sure to play around my Fed carries again and use my limited early game resources on them. Kale and I were essentially able to duo deathball our way to victory on this one, and I'm gonna be honest, the other guys didn't stand a chance in these team fights. We were just fucking locked in. After these 5 games post-coaching session, I was 4-1 and 1 LP away from Gold 1. The miracle run was still possible, and there was no way I was giving up now. I was so close to tasting glory again. But then, right when I was starting to feel that hope, that belief again, that this was the run we were all waiting for, of course, things started to break down. In game 96, my Renekton crashed out after losing early to a Mundo, and spent the rest of the game AFK splitting while my misfortune was 1-5. Even though my KDA was decent, I didn't have anybody to play with in fights, and lost what was essentially a 4v5. In game 97, our team comp was so bad with a Silas support and Varus top, that things were a fucking struggle right from draft. However, I didn't make things any easier with my play. I did a terrible job peeling for our Fed Varus in these fights, basically leaving him for dead as I chased down the support like a dumbass. Once again, I broke Perry's rule to play around the Fed carries, and paid the price. Even though I was making progress as a player, these bad habits were tough to break, because they were essentially burned into me for being hard stuck for so long. And from time to time, I'd slip right back into them without even realizing it in the moment. I needed more time to fully break the cycle and get rid of these burned bad habits. Except, with that loss, my time was running out. With my current rank at game 97, it was now officially impossible for me to hit platinum in that 100 game window, and that hit me really hard. I'm really sad. I'm like genuinely embarrassed, actually. I'm playing the easiest champ in the game, and I can't even get out of fucking gold. I'm actually worse off than I was before I started this fucking 100 game challenge, man. I wanted to like have this really triumphant end to the video, show you guys like, oh, I can do it, and nope. It's not gonna happen. I shouldn't have played game 98 after that realization because I was so mentally boomed and unable to think through my in-game decisions. I made some pretty sus choices throughout this one and ultimately led myself and my team to a 3rd loss in a row. Of course, I ended off the game with a nice 0, 6, and 9 KDA as well. Very chef's kiss of me there. I felt like from playing so much of this sad mummy, he transferred his curse over onto me, and I was trapped in this Edeless hellhole with him for an eternity. I guess Amumu finally found his fucking friend in me. For games 99 and 100, instead of being all depressed with no hope of breaking free of this curse, I decided to just play the games out and have some fun. No need to overthink or worry about the results, I just wanted to end this challenge on a high note. And thankfully I did. In both games, I played well, my team played well, and the other team was quick to surrender. Honestly, it was kind of underwhelming to have the final 2 games of the challenge end in such quick FFs. A very bittersweet ending that kind of summarized this whole journey. It felt great to learn a new champion and hone my skills, but also really disappointing and frankly embarrassing to not see the fruits of my labor, especially on what was supposed to be League's easiest jungler. But I'm not going to deny the results or try and hide the truth. What's done is done, and I officially ended this 100 game Amumu challenge at Gold 2 84 LP. At took a break from League for a few days after this challenge was over to touch grass, go to a wedding,
Oh, God.
and then of course get sick. I'm still sick right now, if you can hear it in my voice in this narration, by the way. Sorry. During that sickness though, I couldn't help but think about how unsatisfying the ending of this video was going to be. After all the hard work that went into this video and all the time you spent watching, was I really gonna blue ball you guys with that ending? No. There's no fucking way I'm gonna end the video like that. I still had more to work on from Perry's coaching session and more to prove to all of you. So I got my sick ass out of bed and back onto my PC to grind. I refused to turn my camera on though because I basically looked and felt like this guy, so he's gonna be my substitute webcam for these last few games. During this period, all I cared about was improvement. I didn't care if I won, if I lost, or if I had a good KDA. All I wanted to do was feel like I got better at something on Perry's list after every game. And the more I focused on just improving instead of worrying about my rank or how close I was to game 100, the better I got. I felt like that pressure I put on myself was no longer weighing me down. My plays were better, my thought process was cleaner, and my luck? Yeah, I got a bit luckier too. Finally, I felt myself improving every single game and at a much more rapid pace. And with that improvement, also came a lot more winning and a lot more LP. Before I knew it, I'd climb my mummy ass all the way up to gold 189 LP. I was back at that impenetrable wall of platinum yet again, except this time I had everything I needed to get the job done. I'd done the work, I'd done my time in Elo Hell, and now it was time for me to break this goddamn curse. There was no turning back now. So I got ready for the big game, turned on my camera, and let destiny unfold. Yep. Thank you, Riot Games. Help me, guys, behind us. Really well played. What am I doing? I'm trolling. We can do this. Let's not lose our minds here. Trundle. You guys gotta kill Trundle. Okay, huge. Nice fucking fight. I think this is looking fine, honestly. Not looking bad. I don't think I can save him. He's dead. He's dead. Oh my god, my bot lane's dead too. How did everyone die? There we go. Big. Okay, Diana's CPing for the end. Oh my god, wait. She might actually do it. Does she have it? Does she have it? No, she hasn't. Does she have it? No! No! We don't have Diana, guys. We don't have Diana. I'm just trying to keep them alive. That's fine. Just get out. Just try and get out. Holy shit. Yes! Go! They're aced. Go, please. Go, just hit Nexus. Please. Yes! Yes! We did it. We fucking did it. Oh. I said I wasn't gonna blue ball, you guys. After 150 games and months of playing, I did it. No. We did it. We hit Platinum 4 on League's Easiest Jungler and finished this mummifying challenge with 58 wins and 57 losses. Nothing in my life has ever felt as good as seeing that fucking Platinum promotion screen. Oh my god. Thank you all so much for watching this crazy 100-game journey. It means the world for you to spend what little free time we all have with me and enjoy these crazy projects. Please leave a like if you want to see more videos like this. That support really helps me gauge the appeal for this video idea. And comment down below which jungler you want me to suffer through next. But just whatever you do, please don't say Shaco.